Hey everybody, welcome back to Selena's Corner. I wanted to introduce you to the birthday girl. This is my service dog, Pixie. She's my hearing companion. So say hi to everybody, say hi. Say hi. She doesn't like being held. So I'm going to put her back down and I'm going to clean my hands. Go lay down. Go on, go lay down. So today I'm going to make the Irish soda bread that I told you I was going to make for you guys. Because St. Patrick's Day is a couple days away, so this is a yummy treat to serve with your corned beef and cabbage if you have it. It's nice to have as a treat anytime, really. And like I said, if somebody can't have seeds in their breads or anything like that, you could use a little bit of rye flour instead, just to get the taste that caraway seeds add to this. I'm going to give you a few tips along the way too. So, so today I got my birthday was on last Tuesday on the 9th. So my happy birthday to me, because I didn't get a gift card or anything for my birthday this year. So my happy birthday to me was Hawaiian vanilla beans from the Vanillery in Kauai. And boy, they came really fast. I mean, I ordered these on the 10th. And today's the 15th, so 5 days from Hawaii, and they're already here. So this is a cup of alcohol to 1 ounce of beans, and I got 7 beans for an ounce, and oh my gosh, they smelled like fine chocolate with a hint of vanilla, like they were grown together. Oh, it was just so, it smells so good. So I took the bag, and I filled it up with sugar, because we don't want to waste anything when it comes to these vanilla beans, because boy, they are just too nice. So I'm going to make vanilla sugar out of these beans too. And I saved the top, I stapled it back closed, and I saved the top. It's grade A from the 2020 harvest, and they're Vanillery.com is the site that I went to, and the vanilla pod is packaged, the vanilla pods in this package were produced on a small homestead on the island of Kauai, on the Maku flank of Nanu Mountain. I'm not even sure if I said that right. If I didn't, I'm sorry, I butchered it. But yeah, so I used a cork top, and I remember to put the plastic in this time. So this is day 1 of Hawaiian vanilla bean extract. So I'll put this in the closet after I'm finished with our little video today. And let's see, some tips. So I don't bake or cook with a lot of things that need buttermilk. I'm not gonna lie, I cannot make biscuits. So I don't make buttermilk biscuits from scratch. Yes, I'm Southern, and yes, I should know how to do those things, but I cannot make biscuits. I don't know what it is, so I use the canned stuff. I am so sorry. So, because I don't use a lot of buttermilk, what I do is I buy the cultured buttermilk blend for cooking and baking from the Sakau Pantry, and I buy it at Walmart, and you put the powder in first, and then you add the water, and I put it in a mason jar and just shake it up so it mixes really well. So that's what I use. And then see, I'm only going to need a half a cup for this recipe today. I used a cup, so I might make a second Irish soda bread for my assistant, because I made some for her last year and she really liked it. So I'm going to save this maybe and make another batch for her. It's really simple, it doesn't take long at all. Okay, so if you don't have a pastry cutter, what you can use instead is you can use 2 knives. You just put them between your fingers like that, and you'll just cut the butter in, just like you would this. Or you can use 2 forks, whichever you prefer. But I do have a pastry blender, I got it on Wish.com. You know, it was free, paid shipping. I get so much stuff off of there that's free. Free, just pay shipping. All right. So let's see. Oh, I couldn't find any currants. So the recipe says that I can use raisins, or I can use golden raisins if I want to. The last time I made it, I used a combo. I used half and half, and I don't have any golden raisins this year. I've already used them all up. Okay. And we're going to need some butter for our 10-inch cast iron skillet. Here. And in just a few minutes, I'm going to put before, when I start making the dough for the bread, I'll put that into the oven, and these are neat. These came as a set of 2. I've already washed this one a couple times. I've never used this one before. But, yeah, and they've even got a little thing where you can hang them up if you want to. So, these are great to put on the handle, the hot pads. Not in the oven, but you stick them on like that, and you can lift it up. That way, you don't have to use like a regular hot pad. And then you can just leave this, and I'll use this hot pad from Pampered Chef. So I don't set this hot pan on my glass top stove. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know how hot of something I can like set down on that stove when it's cold. So I don't take any chances. I'm not going to blow up my, God knows how long it will take to get it replaced. It took 7 weeks for my garbage disposal to get fixed, so here we are. Also, this butter right here is Kerrygold Irish butter. I thought it would be fitting for this recipe because we're making Irish soda bread, so we want to be as traditionally Irish as possible. Everyone on the internet is raving, well, on Twitter, is raving about how good this butter is. And I thought, nah, I'll try it. You know, they were saying it's a little expensive, but I thought, okay, I'll try it and we'll see if it's worth the money. Oh yeah, it's worth the money. I put it on, I'm trying to think what I had, a bagel the other day and some cream cheese, and I got this from Lowe's Food, their Spice Bazaar. It's called the Everything Bagel Seasoning, and I kind of cheat. I don't make bagels and then sprinkle that on and bake them and all that stuff. What I do is I toast my bagel, I put the butter, yes, I put butter on my bagel, and then the cream cheese on it, and then sprinkle it with the Everything Bagel on top of the cream cheese. So that's my little cheat. You just buy plain bagels. They are so much cheaper than one that has everything on it. Oh, I found this neat little shaker for my vanilla salt. Isn't that neat? Dollar Tree. Bye-bye. Alrighty, so let's get started. So today for our recipe, we're going to need, oh, and I found this recipe on Genius Kitchen, and it's by Cook Girl. So, and I've made this recipe a couple times. It's really good. It's really easy. There's no proofing time or anything. Mix it up, knead it a little bit, throw it in the pan, throw it in the oven, and brush it with some buttermilk on top of it. And 35 to 40 minutes later, it's a nice golden brown. And as long as it's hollow when you tap it. Let's see. I need a pastry brush. I think I have not got the door stuck closed or open or something. I don't know what I've done here. Alright. Aha! Aha! Pastry brush. And we're going to need a toothpick, so we'll bring those over here too, because we'll make a little X on the top of the bread once we put it into the pan. And let's see, oh yeah, so it says to crush, slightly crush the caraway seeds. So what I did is I just got out my potato peeler, and it's got this flat bottom on it, and I just crushed those seeds a little bit. So slightly, so I didn't crush a whole bunch of them, they're still pretty whole. Okay, it just lets those oils, the rye oils, out of the seed itself. So I did that. And we need to slightly beat our egg. And once again, I brought everything to room temperature. measured everything out for you. This is slightly beaten, so that's what I'm going to do because the egg yolks are so pretty good now. It's my little tiny whisk. Alrighty, so I have, oh, I cleaned my oven for you guys too. Last time I did a video for you guys, the chocolate cheesecake, I looked at the oven when I was taking pictures and I was like, oh my god, that is, yeah. So I cleaned the oven for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and put my skillet into the oven, and I just have it on the lower rack this time. And I'm going to use a see-through bowl. I'm going to get another spoon too. Get a big spoon. Alright. So it says that we need 2 cups of unbleached flour. We need a 1/4 cup of sugar. We need a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. We need a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. A 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 1/4 cup of butter softened to room temperature. A teaspoon of caraway seeds. A 1/4 cup of currants. Raisins or golden raisins can be substituted. 1 egg, lightly whisked. We need a 1/2 cup of buttermilk plus 2 tablespoons. And I'm glad I read ahead on the recipe because I put the 2 tablespoons in with the 1/2 cup before I realized that I need the 2 tablespoons to brush on top of the bread before I put it into the oven. Alright, so I had to take my 2 tablespoons out and put it in something separate. Plus I need some butter to grease the pan with when I take it out of the oven to put the bread in. So I'm going to move this over to my stove so that when I take my pan out, I don't set it on my stove. I don't want to risk breaking it. I don't know why, I just don't. I don't know if they're still as fragile as they used to be or not. So, let's get started. So the first thing it tells us to do is to preheat the oven to 375 Fahrenheit is what I use. Place the 10-inch skillet, ungreased, cast iron skillet into the oven to heat. Then in a large mixing bowl, we want to combine the flour. Well, I'm already making this. And we're going to need some flour. I just put a little bit of flour over here. We're going to need some flour to knead the dough. Okay, so in the mixing bowl, combine the flour, the sugar, the baking soda, okay, so it's going to be a fun day, I guess. Baking soda, the baking powder, and the salt. And I'm going to mix that all up. I just always think that's a good idea. Plus it makes the flour fluffier. Alright. Now when you're measuring flour, what you do is you take a fork and you fluff the flour. And then you spoon it into your measuring cup. And then you level it off with the knife. I usually find a knife that has a straight edge on the back of it and level it off into your bowl or whatever it is you keep the flour in. Alright. So now it says to cut in the butter with a pastry blender. And if you don't have a pastry blender, that's okay. Use those 2 knives like I told you. We're just going to turn it this way and that way. butter all. Kind of looks like beads. Kind of like lumpy flour after you get it in there. I'll take a picture. Set that over there. Maybe I'll take a picture. Okay. Now it says to stir in the caraway seeds and the raisins. I gotta find out where I can get currants, and I don't even know where I can get currants. Maybe I normally shop at Walmart. Went to buy a loaf, but the store I went to is closing. By the victim of the pandemic, I guess. That's sad. I love Bilo. I always save a lot of money when I go there. Okay, so we stir just until combined a half a cup of buttermilk and the egg. So there's a half a cup of buttermilk and the egg. Put all this into the sink. I'm gonna get a drink right quick. I hope you don't mind. So we stir just until combined. I tell you, this bread is really easy to make, and I tell you what, it is certainly worth the effort. It's not really sweet. It's not really salty. It's well worth the effort. A friend of mine told me that her mom bought some, and I'm like, Mom, I don't need to be buying this stuff. It's so easy to make. Okay, so remember I cleaned my hands, so I'm gonna just take this off like this. So now it says that we need to turn it out onto a flour cutting board so the dough will be sticky. And we're just going to knead it a few times. Just flour our hands too. I'm going to take a picture right quick. Maybe. I might be taking a picture. I don't know. Alright. Flour my hands again. So now we're going to turn it out onto a flour cutting board. And it says it'll be sticky. And we're just going to knead it a few times. See? Get all that yummy goodness out of there. I will clean that up. I will clean that up while this is baking in our oven. Okay. So I'm just going to put. So just to knead it a few times. It says it'll be sticky. That's why we floured our hands. So it says we knead it a few times until it forms a disc. Getting it everywhere. Alright, so that looks like it's forming a disc to me. I'll wash the top of my hands. That is a really sticky dough. gonna turn it out into this pan. I'm about to get out the oven. Set on that hot plate. I'm gonna take a picture for you again. Okay. Now we need to butter our pan. I'm just gonna roll it around in there. I'm just rolling it around in here so it covers the bottom of the pan so our bread doesn't stick. But just on the edges too. Okay, like that. I'm going to take the dough and I'll put it in the middle of the pan, like so. Doesn't have to be pretty. Then I'm going to get a toothpick. See, it's sticky. It's a sticky. A toothpick. And I'm gonna put a X in the middle, like so. Then we're gonna brush the top with our 2 tablespoons butter. Wait till you see how this looks when it's done. Oh my gosh, it is so pretty, and it tastes so good. And I'm going to show you a couple things I found at the thrift store, because I make a lot of breads, because I like breads. I love to make bread. I want to learn how to do sourdough. Alright, so we didn't need all of it. Wash my hands one more time. Now I'm going to take a picture right quick. And I'll put it in the oven for 35 to 40 minutes. And I'll take a picture so you can see my oven's clean. So you can see I ain't a big old storyteller. Alright. So, now it says, turn the dough out onto the flour cutting board. The dough will be sticky. With floured hands, knead the dough a few times until able to form a disc shape. Carefully remove the hot cast iron from the skillet from the oven and lightly grease with the butter. Place the rounded ball of dough into the skillet. It says if desired, and I do. Cut an X into the top of the loaf until using a toothpick, and brush the top of the loaf with the remaining buttermilk. Bake for 35 to 40 minutes or until golden brown and hollow when tapped. Just like that. So we're going to set a timer on the oven. 35 minutes to start. Okay? I just made a mess over here. I'm just making a mess today. Alright, I even cleaned the stove top. Made it all nice and shiny. Alright, so we'll come back. I'll clean up the mess that I made so far, and when we come back, I'm going to show you a couple of things that I got at the thrift store that I use just for bread, because for my banana nut breads and zucchini bread, if I make a loaf or a loaf of raisin bread or something like that, or regular white bread, I get the frozen kind sometimes, or I'll make it in my bread machine, just the dough, and then I put it into a bread pan, and then I'll slice it up with this thing that I'm going to show you. You're going to like this. But I found them at the Goodwill, and I find them all the time, $3 or $4. So, and they're really cheap. So I will show you when we come back. So remember, if you like what you see today, to like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and be nice. And I'll see you soon. Hey everybody, so welcome back. So our 35 minutes has passed, so let's take it out of the oven and see what it looks like and see if it's got that hollow sound to it yet. And if not, we'll put it back for 5 minutes. Isn't that pretty? Well, I tell you, this bread is so easy. Still sounds a little thick, so I'm going to give it 5 more minutes. Alright, so in the meantime, I'm going to show you my neat little finds that I got at the thrift stores. So when I first bought a bread maker, I didn't really know that there was a better way to slice the bread after I made it until I found a bread slicing guide. Isn't this neat? This is originally from Presto, and what I did is I marked where it's a halfway mark so that I could turn the loaf of bread around. So that I get, because when you get to, it kind of hangs off, you know, a full loaf kind of hangs off the edge. So even the banana nut breads and the zucchini bread loaves, they do that too. So I cut it to halfway, and then take those out, and then I take the bread loaf and I turn it around, and then I cut it the rest of the way. And you can use a serrated knife like this. And you see how it's color coded? It's got gray, white, gray, white, gray, white. Well, that's the different thicknesses of bread that you can slice. So, like this, every one is the thickness of a regular loaf of bread. But if you go all the grays, that's actually like, trying to think, Texas toast style slices, or maybe you just like thick sliced bread, like maybe for French bread or something like that. So that's what I use. So then I found out this originally comes with an electric knife. So I found this Black & Decker electric knife at Goodwill for $3.99. I have more than one of these. I found another one, probably the same price, maybe a little less, $2.99, something like that. They're not very expensive. You see this stuff? Snap it up because they really come in handy. I use this to cut turkey, ham, all kinds of things. And the neat thing about this is that the blades lock together because they move back and forth to cut whatever it is you're cooking, or cutting, cooking. So what I like about this one, it just slides right in here. So I say that and then it won't do it. So it just slides right in there. Isn't that the way you say it's going to do a certain thing and then it doesn't do a certain thing? Okay, so. Okay. So it probably clicks in there. The good thing about this one is that even if you have it plugged in, this won't press again to cut until you press this little white safety button. So once you press that safety button, then it'll work. And you just go down, 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 down. And then when I get to the halfway mark, which I have on my side so I can see it, that's when I stop and then I turn the bread around. Then it just push these two little buttons and it comes right out. So and luckily it came in the box. So I'm going to use that to slice up this bread after it's cool. And what I do with this Irish soda bread is I cut the loaf in half. Then I slice it up because it won't fit into here unless I do that first. So I'll do that. I do that with all my artisan breads, is I'll cut them in half and then I slice them up. Then I put them back together and then I put them in a Ziploc bag so I can keep them. Now, here's the vanilla that I showed you the other day in the Hornitos, the Mexican vanilla from the Mexican vanilla beans. Look how dark it is already. It's only been a week. It's been a week today. So that's nice. So now I have a little bit of everything. Next thing I want to get, as soon as it comes back into season and I can find that it's kind of expensive, but I don't mind because I really want it, is Peruvian beans, because they grow wild and they're pollinated by bees. Most of this other stuff is pollinated by human hands. It's kind of rare. That's why Peruvian beans are kind of expensive, because they grow wild and bees pollinate them, where humans usually pollinate all of the other stuff. Usually if you see pompano, that means that it's been pollinated by bees. So I'm looking for Peruvian, Ecuadorian, and Australian, I think, are the last three beans that I'm really looking for. And then I'll have a nice round collection. I think I'll have 12 different kinds of beans at that point. Alrighty. So I'm going to move this back to the oven. Turn this noisy thing off. And take out our bread. That look pretty? Alright. Yeah, it's got a nice hollow sound to it now. Oops. That's our pepper stuff shaker for powdered sugar, which I just made a mess with. But hey, what would a video of mine be without making a mess? Alright. So see how it's got that nice bottom to it? And those edges is just the butter, is all that is. Alright, it smells really, really good. I'm going to put this back on here so I don't accidentally touch it while it's still hot. It takes a while for it to cool down. Remember to turn your oven off so you're not wasting power. And I'll just put that over here. Alright, so what I'll do, I'll get started uploading these videos that I've already got for this one for today, because they do take a while, because I have to send them to YouTube and download them back and then put them back together. But while our bread is cooling, because you don't want to cut your bread while it's hot, because if you cut your bread while it's hot, it will tear the bread up, and because the gluten in the bread hasn't set yet. I think that's how you would say it. So remember, if you like what you see today, like, share, subscribe, comment, be nice, and oh yeah, I have a new logo on my channel. Go and check it out. My friend, she was a manager at the place where I work. We were working together. She was the arcade manager, and she's an artist, and her name's Chanel. She did a new logo for me because I was giving her some blackberry liqueurs at Christmas time, and that kind of stuff I made especially for her. So she made a new logo for my YouTube channel. Go and check it out. It's really cute. So I will see you guys back here as soon as this bread is ready to cut. Everybody, so we're back. So I let the bread cool and I cut it in half, took some pictures for you guys, and now I'm going to put it into the bread cutting guide, I guess is how you would say it, and I'm going to cut it up into some nice pieces so it looks pretty. So like a so. And I also got out, I got some spreadable Kerrygold too, because I wanted to try it on this bread because it's so good. Alrighty, so it's gonna be noisy. Ready? one. So I'm gonna get out that serrated knife I showed you earlier. Do that one last cut. Normally I would have turned it around by now. But. And another good reason why you need to turn it around is so that you don't cut your fingers when you get that close to the end. So, a little bit of a crummy mess here. Because it's more of a dessert bread than a bread. In my opinion, anyway. So I'm going to show you what it looks like cut. It smells good. You can smell those caraway seeds too. Alright. So I baked it. I get to taste it. That is a really good recipe. Okay. So, see how the slices are all nice and pretty? So let's try it with the Kerrygold bread butter. Won't take much. I'm going to take one of these smaller pieces. See how it tastes. The butter is really exceptional. It is definitely worth the extra money. I would normally spend to buy them name brand products, but it's a special occasion. So for a special occasion, I wouldn't mind going ahead and spending the extra money. So I'm going to go ahead and eat this last piece. This way. And see how I go like white, gray. So that's your color coded guide. And get the oven ready for a minute. I'm eating some camembert. And a French baguette with some apricot preserves for lunch today. I just don't want anything heavy for some reason. It's my day off from my job, so I'm doing a video for you guys because I promised I would do one. Am I gray now? Am I gray? I'm all white. No, I'm still all white. White. Not gray. But see, you don't have to have the electric knife to cut this bread up. This is nice to have. It just makes it go a little faster. But it still looks nice and neat. Of course, anytime you're cutting up bread, it's going to make a mess because bread is crummy. Alrighty. Fold it together so it all comes out in one little piece. I'll dump that onto a plate and I'll just eat it like a little snack. Alright. So, as soon as it's like all the way cool, it still feels a little warm. So as soon as it's all the way cool, then I will put it in a Ziploc bag and I will throw it into the refrigerator. I would advise unplugging this knife before you try to take the blade off. Yeah, because you don't want to like chop your fingers off. Even though it's got that safety mechanism, I still You know, safety first. Always safety first. Alrighty. So, like I said, I'm gonna do a little bag up, some camembert cheese, with some apricot preserves. These preserves are really good. They're just Walmart store brand, they're really good. So I'm gonna put this in the oven for 10 minutes so I can have lunch. After I upload this video. So I appreciate everybody stopping by today to Selena's Corner. Again, if you like what you saw today, please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave a comment, and be nice. But let me know something that you would like to see me make. I'm trying to think of a dinner that I can make for you guys instead of you know, sweets and breads and stuff like that all the time. So I'm gonna come up with something really nice. So give me some ideas. Leave me a comment and give me some ideas, and I will see you next time on Selena's Corner. And check out my new logo.